Welcome back to Profit Punch. Today we are talking about Argentina stocks listed on the USA stock market. Anyway, here I'm showing you the monthly chart of three stocks. So these are banking stocks from Argentina: SUPV, BMA, and GGAL. And we can see that from 2023, SUPV did about 1,000% from the bottom of the move. So your money multiplied times 10. BMA did 580%. So your money multiplied about times 6 or 7, depending on how you look at it. And GGAL 600%. If you put in 10,000, it would be about $70,000. And this happened over just 1 year, from November 2023 to January 2025. So what is really interesting is that if you look deeply on these charts, the pattern is all the same. We see the stocks making this very big, huge monthly base. So this is something called a reversal pattern. So the bigger the time frame, the easier it is to see such patterns and the less noise there is. So we see this major breakout, and once it breaks out there, it is just time to buy. There's another signal here where we see a crossing over of the moving averages. So once the moving average crossover, we wait for it to come and test, and these are buying points. We see the same pattern on the BMA chart as well. See that flat base over here. We see that nice breakout. Then we see all of these pullbacks. So these green bars that you see in my chart, I color code my chart so that whenever there's very high volume, then the bar comes off as green. So these are good times to be buying or adding to your position. Also on the GGL chart, the pattern is the same. But why am I showing you this? Is this for nothing? No. What I'm trying to show you that stocks move in sectors. So if you find a moving sector, your goal is to find the strongest stock in that sector. And here, clearly, the best stock to hold was SUPV. SUPV did 1,000%. Of course, the other ones did very great as well, but you definitely made the most money in SUPV. Now, after such a huge move, we see a pullback on the weekly chart on the rising 30-week moving average, and this is a good time to be buying the stocks. So I think that these stocks are going to be going up in 2026. This is a very good opportunity. It's time to buy now. So after the monthly chart, what we want to do is we want to go and look at the monthly versus the weekly chart. The reason why I'm not going down to the daily chart is because I like daily charts, but the problem is that if I release a video and it's based on a daily chart, then the video becomes relevant in a very short amount of time. While if I use a weekly chart, these moves are going to be happening for 2 years or 1 year, then my video will be relevant for all of that time. So this move that you're seeing here is going to be relevant for a very long time. Here I have a weekly chart of SUPV, and then I have a weekly chart, a monthly chart of SUPV. You always want to be using 2 time frames on a ratio of about 1 to 5. This helps you see the bigger time frame and in the shorter time frame. So SUPV, we can see this very nice breakout on the monthly chart. So for a very long-term trader, this was a good time to buy on this breakout. And you can see that it coincides with this week on November 20th, November 2023. This is a good time. You could have bought the stock here. As soon as it gaps up, your stock would have been about 10%. Of course, I think I would have kept a very tight stop of 5%. And then with that 5%, you could have ridden the stock up to a maximum of about 630%. So after that big move, we can see that it pulled back to the 30-week moving average. This is a very good time to be adding to long-term moves like this. And then we can see another move which did about 200% if you did not participate from the original position. Now, if you came in late, this is a good time to add in your position. But if you already had a position from here, then you could have added to your position here. Now, once we go to the monthly chart, we can see something like this is happening again, right? We can see this huge consolidation that has taken at least maybe like almost a whole year, right? This is a very good sign. And then we can see that crossing over the 10-week, crossing above the 30-week moving averages. This is a very good sign. On the monthly chart, it's just bouncing off the 30-month moving average. This is the time to buy immediately. So we can see that the stock has bounced off this rising moving average. This is the time to add to your stock. If you want to be buying, then you can go down to the daily chart, and then you can see that we also have very tight price action. So you see this huge trend line, then it consolidates, makes a very small consolidation, then it makes a small consolidation, And now we see this very tight price action. So as soon as it goes above, this is a very good time to buy. And then you can put your stop to be about, so you can buy here. Your stop can be just above 5%. And if it does that very huge move, this can be very profitable. The next stock is BMA. BMA is having a very similar pattern. So we can see on the monthly chart, we can see it's bouncing up the rising 30-week moving average. These stocks are going to have the very same pattern because they are in the same sector, Argentinian banks. The weekly chart, we can see it has recovered. It's bouncing. It's testing that crossover after the 10-week has crossed above the 30-week moving average. It's a very nice sign. And then you can see my recommendations to people who are part of the Profit Punch newsletter. So if we go down to the daily chart, you can see what's happening. We can see a very tight price action. This is very good. Tight price action means that nobody's willing to sell. And as soon as it moves above that price, just buy. I would not even keep this very wide stop. I would actually keep a very tight stop of just about 4%. And then if it goes up like it did in the past, where it did all of this huge move of 500%, that means you're risking 4% to make 500%. This is a very good return on investment. The reason why it even makes this better is that you can try multiple times, because if you're risking 4% and you're shaken out several times, even if you're to try about 5 times, you're still going to be profitable on this trade. So it's a very good trade. I'd recommend. The next one is GGAL, which I'm also participating in. Same pattern. We're bouncing off the rising 30-week moving average, which is great. If we go to the weekly chart, we can see that crossover. We are testing it, and the stock is looking to just jump up, right? So it has tested it, and then I bought here. Well, if we go down to the daily chart, we can see what we're talking about. We can also see this coiling here. So this coiling is a very good sign. It means that nobody is willing to sell. Now, if I put back my recommendations, you can see that as soon as it goes above this candle, it has jumped out of this coil, you buy, right? And then you can keep a very tight stop. I would actually just put my stop here. So I think I had a stop of just about 3%. If I put in $10,000, the risk is going to be $300. And if it goes up and does that very huge move like it did last time of 600% from the bottom, that would be great, right? So I'm risking 3% to make 600%. It's a very huge return. Now, of course, during this 600% move, I'm going to be handling the trade. So maybe you buy here, you sell a little bit here, you add back down here, and then you finally sell there. So that's how you can handle these big trades. And then finally, the final stock in this group is BAR. Okay, so BAR is also showing a very similar pattern. We can see that crossover. It's testing it. It's bouncing off the 30-week on huge volume. That's a very good time. We saw that in November 2023. We see that in October 2025. So you don't need another signal apart from this. And then you can see that the stocks ran up. If I turn this weekly chart into a daily chart, you're going to see that same pattern, right? You can see this coiling. It's from Mark Minervini. It has this huge drop of about 20%. It forms a very smaller drop of about 7. And then we finally see a small drop of about 4%, right? So you buy as soon as the price goes about that. This was a very huge candle, so I bought as soon as the price went about that, and then I get the very tight stop. I normally put just half of the candle because I'm willing to try again. But if you're lazy, then you can use this whole candle as your stop loss, right? But I like to get very tight stop losses. Then if it breaks out of here and continues above $19, this can be a very good hold for the next year. Now, of course, if you're watching this video, I do not recommend you to buy all of these stocks because you can see that they have very similar price action, right? They all have the same price action. So what you should do is find the best of the best stock. And I really recommend that. I like SUPTV is one of the best stocks because it had the best price movement. My second choice was GGAL, so these are the ones I'm betting on. But even if you do BMA or BDAR, I think the results will be similar in case this move is triggered. May the markets be with you. If you found value in this information, sign up for the Profit Punch newsletter, where I'll be showing you exactly where to enter these stocks and how to profit from them.